Looking through to tastes of the Caribbean with Planet Food at 11:30, you're watching BBC Two with something new for the weekend.
They're making a meal of it when it comes to marketing the...
Greed, corruption and unshakable faith now on BBC Two. With strong language, John Malkovich, Dustin Hoffman and Mila Jovovich star in The Messenger, the story of Joan of Arc.
Clarinet with embarrassing powers. It's that Mitchell and Webb look in half an hour here on BBC Two. But first, some strong language and a bit of wordplay.
If organ music and Desmond Carrington rock your boat, don't miss whatever happens to Radio 2. Tonight, 11:20, here on BBC Two.
On BBC Two now, 60s espionage with Michael Caine as secret agent Harry Palmer, keeping an eye on the spies in the Ipcris file.
Here on BBC Two, gripping drama right from the start. Your chance to get hooked by heroes with our special catch-up weekend tonight at 9. First, London has been invaded by an army of warriors.
So will it be Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan or Captain Ali Carter? It's live to the Crucible and the final of the World Snooker now on BBC Two, introduced by Hazel Irvine. This is BBC Two.
Tudors in an hour, but first on BBC Two and the BBC HD channel. You've heard of the goodies, now meet the baddies. At Wimbledon today, the ladies provide the quarter-final drama and will be there from midday. But now on BBC Two, in a change to the build programme, we take a trip to the animal park.
Adam Hart Davis contemplates other worlds in the last episode of Cosmos tonight at 7:30. Now though, BBC Two takes to the skies in search of some inspirational gardens.
Celebrating half a century of genius, famous friends and even royalty pay tribute to a national treasure. Our Stephen Fry weekend culminates with 50 Not Out in an hour after Horizon on BBC Two and Doctors in the Death Zone.
Now on BBC Two, Newsnight with Gavin Esler.
Graham Norton's Naughty Bits Uncut here at 11:30. This is BBC Two, with the last word on the weekend's football.
And at 7:40 tonight, Time Watch examines some of the myths surrounding the Titanic. But before that, on BBC Two Northern Ireland, the story of the iceberg in Natural World.
Yes, a big weekend of local sport to come, and indeed right now here on BBC Two Northern Ireland, Belfast is the place to be for the time trials of this year's Giro d'Italia. Taking us through the action, Jill Douglas.
Get set for an afternoon of sport on BBC Two. We're live at the Crucible from 3 for the start of the World Snooker Championship final. First, to kick things off, Rugby Union.
Rugby Union later at 12:30 as Bath face Saracens in the Premiership. First, BBC Two brings you something for the weekend.
It's D-Day for the chefs from the southwest in Great British Menu in half an hour on BBC Two, after Eggheads.
Staying with the snooker finals meant no time for Nick Baker's Bears here on BBC Two, but we're back on track with a celebration of extraordinary musical prowess now. 30 years of the BBC Young Musician of the Year.
James May shifting gear. He's a guest on tonight's Have I Got a Bit More News for You later at 9:30. Now though, on BBC Two, Dad's Army needs some new recruits. The election's looming, serious times for our comedy The Thick of It, on the way at 10:10. Now though, on BBC Two, it's to Telford for semi-final snooker action with Hazel Irvine.
Another double helping of mouth-watering offerings from Paul Hollywood. Now on BBC Two, starting with a novel twist on an old favourite.
So can seaweed take a blackberry and apple crumble to a whole new level? Paul Hollywood thinks so at 10:30. But first on BBC Two, Paul Martin's Getting Seasonal. From late spring to the height of summer, there's an awful lot going on now on BBC Two in the first of two slices of life in a cottage garden. A riot of colour and beauty now on BBC Two as the cottage garden reaches its peak.
More of the best bits from Titty Bang Bang at 10. First on BBC Two, Save the Cheerleader, Save the World. It's crunch time for Claire. First, twice weekly, tonight and tomorrow, BBC Two's reserved you a table at the restaurant.
Now on BBC Two, with the arrival of a new agent, it's time to raise the game. It's punchier, pacier, funnier, and in HD if you've got it. Expect some violent scenes in brand new Torchwood.
Another new music experience now on BBC Two, this time from Mike Skinner and the Streets, which includes strong language. And if you want it to look as good as it sounds, head over now to BBC HD.
Oh yes, they're very much alive. The boys are back and see how they roll in the new series of The Wrong Man, starting Monday at 9 on BBC Two Northern Ireland. Italian-inspired indulgences for a festive party with Nigella in half an hour after Zoe.
All the thrills and spills on the slopes now on BBC Two. We've got all the action on the opening day of the Winter Olympics in Sochi live.